speed I was going is the speed I went through that intersection.
I did the same exact.
And I said, I'm not trying to, and I told him, I said, I saw turning service, I said, I am not saying you should.
Okay, I'd like to call the August the 30th, 2012 work session of the Frankfort Board of Commissioners to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Wilder?
Here.
Commissioner Hadden? Here. Commissioner Turner?
Here.
Commissioner May?
Here.
Mayor Brown?
Here, so well present. The item on the agenda is citizens' comments. Do we have any citizen who will make a comment? Okay, seeing none. Staff reports, Mr. Bowen.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Dawson, you have anything to report? Mr. McCarty?
I just wanted to report on the shelter that went up this weekend. Real quick, I'll show you some pictures. The Timber Framers Guild was a joint project with Leslie County inmates. That was part of the Land and Water Conservation Grant that you all approved. Put the shelter together. They cut the wood in Leslie County, and the inmates, along with the Timber Framers Guild, showed them how to do it, and they brought it to Frankfort, and they assembled it Saturday. It was really interesting. Commissioner Wilder came up for a little while, and it's a good project, and if you're driving by the connector, you can see it. It looks a little strange up on the hill without the roof on it, but it's really a unique project, and it turned out really well. So something that will be there long after I'm gone. And also the stream restoration project, they've been getting a lot of the rock, and we met with Jim today, another Jim, and they're going to start next week in the wetlands. So you'll see putting rock in the wetlands and everything. They'll start on the stream restoration and do the Cold Spring part later on. And we'll do the wetlands first because it's dry. Any questions? I'd be glad to.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Chief Wilhoit?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Donahue?
No, thank you.
Mr. Hobart?
No, I do not.
Okay. Mr. Mueller?
September 17th, it's a Monday. You all have a afternoon work session that evening at 6 o'clock. We'll have the 2nd Street Farm Code District neighborhood meeting, which should be the last one before we go to the Planning Commission. The location is still being worked out, but we have set the date and the time. So it's
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. The consultant couldn't get there until then. That's all I have.
Okay.
Mr. Pacheco?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Hall? Mr. Scal?
Nothing.
Okay. Mr. Slister? That concludes the reports.
All right, thank you very much. Next, the old business. Anyone will bring up, because Mr. Wilder.
A couple pieces of old business. I was wondering if Fred had any updates for us regarding the county's feelings on a human rights commission and stormwater utility.
And what's the other one?
Stormwater.
Stormwater.
Yes, I spoke with Judge Collins, and he said that he would address both these issues as soon as possible with the fiscal court, but up to this point, at this point, he has not got any further to report, but he will very soon.
Okay. Thanks, Fred.
Okay.
Also, I got my memory could be a little fuzzy on this. I got a call from a constituent, or not a call, somebody stopped in at City Hall and I happened to be here. And they were cited for having their dog tethered in their backyard while they were home, and while they could see the dog from inside. This ordinance went into effect last term, about 2 years ago, and my recollection at the time is that there's, I mean, it's like with lots of legalese, there can always be debate as to what the intention or interpretation of a given ordinance is. But my understanding is that we were not going to go after folks who were home and could actually see their dogs while they were being tethered. Is that? But that, I'm just relying on my recollection.
Without looking at the specific ordinance, I know we did discuss something about a line of sight or within their actual control. Now, as far as this specific case, I don't know the specifics on it, but apparently it was enough that the animal control officer felt compelled to call a police officer to the scene to make the citation. I do know that the SAR people, the people that were behind the tethering ordinance, they've been very proactive in giving us notifications of possible violations. So,
Sure.
like I say, without specifics on this case, I don't know. And once the person was cited, then of course that would be a defense for that person in district court if they choose to defend themselves that way.
But there obviously could have been other circumstances at play here.
That's true. That's true.
But just to clarify, so our policy is to, as long as the dog's within line of sight or within control, it's not our inherent policy to.
Without rereading the ordinance,
Sure.
I couldn't state specifically, but I do seem to remember the talk at the time was someone being able to see their animal or get to their animal quickly,
Okay,
especially on their premises.
sure.
And that would be controlled by the language of the ordinance.
Right.
And if you want me to, Commissioner, I can go get that language and review it. Or we can talk about it after the meeting,
Yeah.
whichever you prefer.
Yeah, I was just looking for some clarification. But yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, in more old business? All right, new business.
A couple pieces
Commissioner
there,
Wilder.
too. A constituent, also just somebody who caught me here at City Hall, wanted to put in a request. I could have passed this on outside of the meeting. I wanted to put in a request for a review of a stop sign on Myrtle on Winding Way. Where I believe where Winding Way hits Myrtle Avenue. There's not a stop sign there. I could be right. That's just according to the constituent. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Down the hill?
Yeah.
There's a stop sign down the hill.
Or maybe it wasn't a... Oh, no, it wasn't a stop sign. It was a speed limit sign, I think. They were requesting a speed limit sign. That's what it was. Because I believe there is a speed limit sign coming onto Winding Way from East Main. But maybe there isn't one coming up from Myrtle. I just said I'd pass it along. Thanks. And another thing too that I haven't inspected myself, but again, it's just something I said I'd pass along. I've got a couple of complaints that the end of Todd, where Todd turns into River Road, is just kind of messy and unkempt. I'm not sure exactly who owns what property right in that area. I think some of it's city owned. I'm sure some of it's privately owned, some of it's right away. Is there anything there that we can address, or is that something we need to take up with the private property owner? And the sidewalks are.
The sidewalks are an absolute mess.
Yeah. Well, the sidewalks, we can just address that when we talk about sidewalk policy next month. Okay.
Are you talking about on Todd Road?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're talking about
Todd
Todd
Street.
Street.
Or Todd Street, sure.
Right at
Side by
the,
Melody Park down there. As far as the sidewalks go, if it's in the southeast quadrant of South Frankfort, that's scheduled this fall to have the sidewalks redone in that area. That's one of the projects we have coming up.
Okay, great.
So I don't know exactly what you're talking about as far as the sidewalks go. So do you have an address as far as the growth?
No, I don't.
Okay. Or an intersection or something?
Right there at the corner. I know there was a,
In the Melody Park there, so it's
yeah.
Across the street.
across the street.
Oh, right there in the
Side,
sharp
right,
curve.
right there where Todd ends and turns
Okay.
into
Old Lawrenceburg.
Old Lawrenceburg. I still call it
Okay.
River Road. We have a
On
couple
the
of-
outside, on the river side.
Yeah, and there was some concern about the passability of the sidewalks, but if that's something we're addressing
We'll look at it too.
on the schedule already.
Okay.
And on that note, just for the record, since we had discussing sidewalk policy at a work session next month, I let the walk bike board members know that we would be discussing that, and the assumption they would be interested in attending and being part of that discussion.
Okay.
Thanks. That's all I got, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Okay, discussion items. Any other discussion items? No?
There's no reason, this being an open agenda, there's no reason we couldn't go ahead and move on to, there's no reason we couldn't go ahead and start discussing the city manager position.
Well, if we says 1 o'clock,
Sure.
yeah, so,
But I'm just
oh,
saying
we're
that,
going to recess, you mean?
oh, no, I'm just noting that we can go ahead and, since we're not on a restricted agenda right now,
Yeah.
we could go ahead and start. We could either recess for 20 minutes or we could go ahead and start this discussion, so long as we
Since we had
still on the
it,
special meeting call.
well, since it was advertised at 1 o'clock, you know, I know if somebody else may want to come or not.
That's fair.
And it's got 17 minutes or so we could maybe, that would conclude what we have on the work session. We could, go ahead and, I guess we could go ahead and adjourn this meeting. And then we'll come back and, all right. Get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Got a second from Commissioner Wilder? Call roll.
Mr. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Hadden? Yes. Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Mayor Graham?
Yes, okay, so we're adjourned.
Take that, fiscal court, that was 12 minutes.
1 o'clock, we adjourn again for a special call meeting.